Invite your friends, invite your not so friendly friends, and tell them that Mayegu today, Mayegu is live. So we won't talk politics. Document happenings. The piece of information that politicians always leave out there, so that when everything finally come to pass, a lot of us then would be acting surprised. You need to be interested in politics, because your non-interest in politics has left the space for criminals who have to rule over you, and you would have to obey whatever they do or say. So once you understand the importance of politics and the government, maybe you begin to hold these rogues responsible, and maybe you can stop them in their wake as they continue to play your future. So they are playing or using your future to play sporty bets. You see, politics is about life and death. Unfortunately, Nigeria doesn't have any Nigerian. There is no Nigerians. If there is no Nigeria. And because of this, Nigerians, who I kind of love to call Nigerians, they love their criminal politicians than they love their country. Let us be honest. Majority of you love your criminals than you love Nigeria. A very hard truth that a lot of us find difficult to accept, but it is the truth. People don't really give a damn about Nigeria per se. Maybe you do. Or are you in the majority? Possibly in the minority. Do you want to know how I get to know that? It's simply because if we have a majority of Nigerians who actually love Nigeria, it won't be this bad, you know. So the evil seems to be the one ruling. Evil system put together where people will defend the criminals than they will defend Nigeria. I mean, when these rogues commit treasonable offense against the country that has given them a lot, they still get defended. That's why I said there is no Nigerian. So thank you so much. Share this broadcast. A Gandollar, Babariga Mobile Banking CEO of Koolu, a man that should be in prison right now, reading about, other people who have also been spending their time in prison. He didn't go to prison. Rather, Gandollar became the national chairman of APC. It can't be like conglomeration of criminals. I don't know how you see APC. That's the way I see them. I can count 1 to 10 criminals who are holding powerful positions in that contraption right now, courtesy of APC. Their president is a drug dealer. Their vice president is a terrorist sympathizer. Their senate president is a treasury looter, chronic one, and a sexual abuser, they say. That hasn't been confirmed, though. They have state governors who are also ex-convicts here and there. When you look at their National Assembly, it's filled with people who have been have to run away from a different part of the world to go and become lawmakers in that contraption. See, I can go on and on. So now let's take a look at the latest development. For those who have been paying attention very well, for instance, right? Like I said before, politics is a very, very, very important sort of like a part of our life, because it is the politics where you have the politicians. Then the politicians are those who form political parties. Political parties are those who are allowed to present candidates for elections. candidates, the political parties that present these candidates, right, will end up forming government. When they form government, they will be, when I say government, I mean the whole body of government. As you have them as lawmakers, you have them as executives. You have the executive in particular, who has so much power to appoint the judiciary, the police, the military, and all of that. That massive power. So their decisions, their actions, their inactions, always have consequences. And that is why it is always very, very important to be interested in the characters that are vying to be in control of your destiny. Now, Nigeria is already in the hole. We already know these characters. You know, the most disappointing thing that they have of the people which these guys have managed to socially condition people for is the fact that people accept that these guys are criminals. But somehow, some of them still believe that even though they are criminals, with prayers, they can possibly change for good. A theory that has never worked. Criminals will be looting money, and then they'll be asking the citizens to pray for their leaders, that it is their causes that is making them fail. You see, the trick of tricksters, consters, right, blames you for what they are doing. They loot money in such an impune way. But this money they are looting and stealing, that they have perfected so well, leave the shores of Nigeria to their own chosen destinations all over the world. Your causes didn't make them steal your money. And somehow, your causes did not force them to possibly openly display the information of where they kept all your money and say, oh, I'm so sorry when I steal your money and then something just happened to me. Please pray for me. Here is all the money. Take it. And say, it's the causes. So anyway, the criminals have perfected the trade of, deceit in such a way that they have made it a system. And that is why Nigerians themselves, either consciously or subconsciously, right, they have accepted that except God touches the heart of these ropes or something happens, then maybe they will change for good. How do you expect thieves? How do you even pray for thieves, criminals, to be successful? Do you not even understand that kind of prayer? You pray for a thief stealing from you, that may Gandollar succeed. Succeed in what? May Tifnumbu succeed. Succeed in what? Do you even have an idea, right, of what his intentions are and those around him? But you're praying, and your prayer is being answered somehow because they are succeeding in their journey of not only impoverishing, terrorizing you, but at the same time to enslaving you and your own children. A lot of you, they spend so much to educate you, to raise you. And from where we come from, right? Children are considered as investments. Not necessarily because they want to depend on you, but it is because they want to raise you enough that not only that you will be able to take care of yourself, but you can also extend hand of support to the family in case if they are no longer as buoyant as they were when they were raising you. So parents invest in this. And how do you empower a child? Not just giving the child food, by educating the child, guiding the child, but a system where criminals are building the nest of generations of poor Nigeria, not just poor in material things, but poor intellectually. So your parents that invested that today, majority of you have gone back to add to their burden. You're not bold enough to understand where this is coming from. Politics. Now, I am not probably going to be able to make any impact in convincing people of how important politics is. And you don't necessarily have to be part of any political party before you have interest in the characters who are pushing and the system that is enabling them as well, because it puts everybody in danger. The system that keeps producing criminals who are supposed to be in jail. Public office is like giving something to you in trust. Do you understand? It's like somebody say, take this 100 million naira. I'll call you next week. And then you don't hear from them a week, 2 weeks, a month, a year, 2 years, 5 years. And you're still keeping the 100 million naira. And then something tells you maybe the person is even dead. Do you get it now? And you started squandering the money because in your mind, you believe that, you never got back to me. But it's not yours. Now, take that to lower it a bit and say, somebody gives you money and say, I'll come back next week. Okay, help me keep this money. And somehow your mind says, what if he doesn't come back? What if he's testing you? You know what? Let me start spending. Let me take 20 million, 30 million. That's exactly similar to what the criminal politicians are doing. You see, it's like putting your life, your own sovereignty, because you have the right to life, you have the right to liberty, freedom. You have the right to defend yourself. All these rights in a government, in a country, especially in Nigeria, you have submitted them solely to these guys to protect these rights for you, that you don't need to defend yourself. Do you get that now? You don't need to start fighting for freedom again because you're free, because they are protected. In that constitution, you are protected by that, right? So you hand over all this right to this guy. You even hand over the right for them to determine the kind of economy that you deserve. So they have to sit down and say, okay, you know what? Our economy will be this, or it will be that. Here you get. And they can gauge who and who will be the victims in the long run. So you gave them all this liberty. You gave them to criminals who don't really give a damn about all of this for you. And the moment you begin to grumble that they are not doing what they should be doing, then they automatically turn it into trying to silence you, jail you, make your speech a crime, like criminalize your speech, your complaint, your lamentation. Do you see? It all starts from the process that produces criminals, that formed political parties, that formed government, that make policies that affect lives. Today you have over 10 million Nigerians who are internally displaced. Nigeria is not at war. Criminals in power and their policies. Over 10 million Nigerians. We have over 22 million school-age children roaming about the streets of Nigeria today. Over 22 million failed government policies. And the criminals care so much about the next election, and who gets what, and and if these ones are not getting what they want, they will be angry. Oh, the country needs to burn down. You know what I mean? If these ones get what they want, they will be singing the Eureka. Yes, the country is working, everybody is fine. And they are all in this chaos, in this entire chaos. The criminals are proud to have power. They are proud to have power. They are proud to be able to actually give power. Like, I'm a godfather. Now we decide what happened here. In the entire chaos, while their failure, the consequences of their misrule is right there on their faces, right? They will sometimes even come out to admit to their own failure, but not like admit in the sense that they are guilty and going to do something about it. No. They say it out just to make you feel better and say, no, we understand that you are struggling. But some things are getting better in some places. You see, which places? Give names. criminals in power. So that is what will now take us to this APC. I don't have to tell you the history of APC, but today's APC is no longer the APC of Bukwari. You need to first accept that. I don't know if any of you have started noticing that. Not only that, they barely sing your national anthem in any official gathering, including your National Assembly, without them first singing on your mandate. They will stand. I don't know if you have also noticed that somehow, the broom in their logo is disappearing and is being replaced with Tifnumbu's cap. Again, you may not have noticed, but maybe you should start noticing. So what happened right now is that those who are the CPC of APC, which Bokwari, Malamu, and others like that belong to, they have been almost, I won't say completely, almost, right, removed from the APC, what do you call it, their leadership structure or power structure. Something that is also, triggering this coalition talk. Do you know that it is the Northern Nigeria, El-Rufai and others, Atiku and others, they are the brain behind coalition. And when you look at your circle, right, they are also almost from the same circle of those of, part of this their former APC, Ebekebe. Abi? Anyway, Gandollar, after 2023, when Gandollar was supposed to go to jail since 2019, but managed to get himself back with the help of the court, the status of assembly, he escaped jail. Then he tried to make somebody the governor of Kano, like everyone else, always do. So, but that didn't work out. So he encountered Kwakwansop. And Kwakwanso, if Kano State was a country, Kwakwanso can be their own, what is this guy, Cameroon guy name again? This Cameroon guy. It can be their life president, the way, he sort of controls that Kano politics and all that as their former governor. So Gandollar couldn't make his own chosen successor succeed in. So Kwakwansop overran them there. APC completely obliterated in Kano. And if you go check at their 2023 charade results declared by Yakubu, you will realize that it was Kano, despite that kind of a trouncing, right? It was actually Kano that Koolu seemed to get he got 500,000 there, I believe. So this Northwest, Kano, Sokoto, Kebbi, and few of these places. So they were the places where that rigging happened. So Gandollar was made chairman of APC, Egbekebe, after easing out Abdullahi. You remember Abdullahi Adamu? The one that was behind Robert Stamplawan, your former Senate president. So he was touted to be Bukwari's chosen candidate for APC before Tifnumbu kind of maneuvered them. So Abdullahi was eased out for Gandollar. And since then, Gandollar has more or less proven to be a useful tool in the toolbox of Koolu in the north. But it seemed to have also misfired at some point. Here is something that people have observed. And in fact, this is why you are hearing this or watching this on Mayegun, so that you probably, we probably have some section of these viewers who are also thinking along this line based on the available pieces of info new. Sure you get. So, this shitty man that they used as a Muslim partner to Koolu, at the time, it was to placate the core terrorists, Islamic terrorists, sympathizers of the North. Basically that. For electoral, what have you, Shittiman came back to be no real value electorally. So since they have already pressed it on that for Tifnumbu to have a chance with them, Tifnumbu must choose a Muslim. So the rumor that they are hearing that they want to replace Shittiman with a Christian or with a Muslim became so real that most of those who have been ignoring what they called, the downgrading of Shittiman, because this is not what they expected. Now, let me digress a bit. When we were putting all of their nonsense together,